The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from experts on such topics as legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to our experts in community association law, estate planning law, tax relief, Medicare, public insurance adjusters, neuropathy treatment, business brokers, and personal injury law, along with many other topics. Now here's your host for the last 17 years, Steve O.
Dallas, Fort Worth, welcome to another Ask the Expert show. We also want to just welcome our TikTok audience. This is a live show, Monday through Friday. This is the last Wednesday of the month. That means Dr. Gamboa with Elite Care. Good afternoon, Dr. Gamboa.
Hi, Steve. How are you? Hi,
it's
everyone.
Good. You know what? I look so forward to this show, and I look at, God, we've been doing this for several years now, and it's amazing the numbers. We have never had, because we get to see the numbers, we've never had a month go by where it was less than the past month. People love your show. They love the way you explain things. And there's so much information out there. And I got to tell you, it makes it so easy for me to do a show with you because you and I have such great banter. Today, first of all, with all these new people coming on from TikTok, tell people about your practice.
Oh, yeah, great, Steve. Thank you. Yes, like we are in Las Colinas, Irving, Texas, and I am family medicine, but I do more like a functional medicine type practice. I do a whole wellness treatment, and we do weight loss. I do a lot of aesthetic treatments as well. I do hormone replacement, optimization of the hormones. So I treat PCOS. Well, before it used to be called PCOS, now it's called PMOS, but it's the same metabolic syndrome. And we optimize thyroid. We help people to feel their best, and we don't only treat the symptoms. We find the cause of the root of the problem. And that's how we treat patients. I truly care about my patients. I do my best at doing that. And that's what we do here in Las Colinas at Elite Care Clinic.
How long have you been in practice for?
So if you count since I graduated medicine, a long time. I graduated the School of Medicine in 2002. But then here in the U.S., I've been for like the last 25 years or so. And in my private practice, I've been 5 years. But I finished my fellowship here at Texas Tech in 2010. So it's been a long time.
You're not going to believe this. We get more people writing, Dr. Gamboa looks so young. How can she be a doctor? What did she
Thank
do?
you.
Go when she was 5 years old.
Yeah.
That's a nice compliment.
Yes, thank you. It's funny you mentioned that. It was like that in my residency. So they always thought that I was the medical student when I was the attending. Or the students were a little older than me, and they were like, "Oh, I will feel more comfortable if the doctor does it." And I'm like, "Well, I'm the supervising physician, so if you want the student to do it, go ahead." And they were like, "What?" So that was very funny all the time. Yes, I had a lot of fun.
Dr. Gamboa, I've got to ask you this. We do not get political on the show, but I have to ask you this. When your patients would come down with COVID, how did you treat them?
That is an excellent question, Steve. So it was, I would say, Wild West in those times because we did not know how to treat it, right? We did not know much about it. So we were trying our best to help our patients. So I did everything. I did from inhalers to steroids to antibiotics. And also I did not very conventional like things such as zinc, like vitamin D, all this to improve quercetin, supplements to like improve their immune system of the patients. But also, like a lot of patients we treated with ivermectin. At that time, we thought it was working and it was helping. There was this great doctors like in Houston they were working at the ICU, and they were treating a lot of like patients with COVID, and they were using ivermectin with success. So that's why they came up with this protocol. We were trying that protocol, and for many patients it helped. And but for other ones, it, like with everything in life, it didn't work as much as we wanted them to. And some of them, like unfortunately their immune system was overpowering their system, so they were dying, and they were having like too much like inflammatory response, and unfortunately those patients were not able to survive. We did everything. I mean, I can tell you that we did everything for the patients.
The reason why the Senate today is having hearings with Dr. Fauci, and it seems like a lot of things that they were telling doctors to do weren't really the right information. Because just for example, the mask, they said 6 feet away, and they asked him why did you come up with 6 feet? And he said, I don't know, it sounded good. And I was like, this is science.
As I mentioned, we didn't know, right? So we were doing things that we thought they may help, and they would do, because truly, if you think nowadays, like people were using masks made out of cloth, and that cloth, it was like even like very thin. So like truly masks have like helped, and then you can see the science behind it. That's the reason why we use masks whenever we're doing surgeries, because we don't want to contaminate the area. We don't want to do those things. But for that time of the COVID, it was very stressful. It was the unknown, unfortunately. And as I mentioned, it was like the Wild West. Everyone was doing their own thing, trying to help patients in different ways.
Wow. So you deal a lot with weight loss.
Yes.
And we get a lot of questions about weight loss.
I love that. Tell me.
Well, here's the biggest question. People have tried so many different things, and it didn't work. Now, you can't control the way somebody eats or the way they exercise. You don't know what they're really doing. But people actually thought a pill would make them lose weight. And I'm sure you probably look down on that. We're going to talk about I call it the skinny injection. But what do you do when a patient comes in? Because weight is so important, Dr. Gamboa. It's a cause of so many health issues, right?
Yes, it's the base of everything. And it's great that you mentioned this, because and I am so blessed to like have this platform to educate the people and patients. So this is the first thing I want everyone listening to understand. This obesity is a chronic disease. It's not only eat less and exercise more. We have to understand that this is a chronic disease, and we have to treat it as such. Obesity is so complex that it involves your brain, it involves the insulin resistant, it involves your hormones, it involves the metabolic rate, it involves the way you respond to the insulin. It's so complex. So please don't think that you are failing, that it's your fault that you are eating too much and not exercising more. Of course, like all of us, we have to make the effort, and everything has to be like come at some price, in the sense of also you have to understand that you have to eat healthier and exercise a little more. That's the base of it. And then on top of that, I can offer you the tools, as like Steve was mentioning, the skinny injections and the medications. Because in all of this like studies and research for weight loss, guess what they do? They do less calories and also increase exercise. Of course, we have to like probably give up some of the way we eat. But like once it clicks in your brain and you feel better and you see that you're losing weight, then you do it in a natural way. It's not a thing of, oh, I cannot eat this, I cannot eat that. No, nowadays, yes, you can eat it, but in a modified way. Like you also have to decrease the portions. Yes, we have to try to decrease the amount of processed foods and a lot of this chemicals that we eat. Yes, but if you eat healthier and more protein and you use the injections or the medications, then it will help you. Because what happens is every time your body loses weight, your body's going to try to regain it. This is called metabolic adaptation. That's why this has to be considered and think as a chronic disease, because it's not only, oh, I'll take the medication, I'll use the injection until I lose the weight and then I'll stop. No, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, nothing works. I regained the weight. That's how our genetic is. That's how our bodies has been designed for. They are designed to gain weight, unfortunately. And a lot of patients have like a stronger mechanism than others, and some other patients, they have been struggling with being overweight or obese since childhood. So in those patients, it's going to be even more difficult to like make sure that we are going to reset the metabolic set point. We may never be able to do this. But in patients that they just like started gaining weight after a pregnancy, then probably, yes, we're going to be able to reset the set point so that they can maintain that weight. But the great majority is going to need medications probably for the rest of their life. It's very similar to the diabetes. But that's what I want to understand. This is not just a cosmetic thing. It's not just to fit into this beautiful dress that you want to. No, this is a health issue, as Steve mentioned. We have to like obesity it's related to like high blood pressure, cholesterol, like it's obstructive sleep apnea, so many other things, and then some cancers that can be related to obesity, because the fatty tissue causes a lot of inflammation, and constant inflammation may cause a lot of issues in your health.
I don't know if, and I'm on the injection. But how does it affect the brain? I mean, I can look at food now and go, ugh, I don't want that.
Yes.
It's never happened before. How does it affect the brain?
It, like for what we understand, but we don't fully understand the whole benefit on the whole like effect on our brain. But what we understand now is that it decreases the cravings, like how many people call it food noise. So it kind of tones down those cravings, that kind of little like, oh, you have to eat this, you have to. That's the food noise that many people have noticed that it goes down and completely disappears once they are in these injections. And that's how like that works in our reward zone, because also in our brain we have the area that it's for survival, that is whenever we feel hunger, and then there's the other part of our brain that we eat because of pleasure or because we are stressed, or food makes us feel good. So that's why it's very complex. And then also like this is going to help us because it decreases the satiety and decreases the hunger hormone. But also in the brain, it works at the level of that reward zone, like, so it's kind of like nowadays, like some of this are looking into helping people with addiction, with alcohol, abuse, or like substance abuse. Like they're seeing that these injections also may help decrease those cravings and help them out with that. So it's amazing how this medications are working and are helping people.
Dr. Gamboa, there's another area, if we're talking about weight, stress.
Yes.
How do we get rid of stress? I mean, all you got to do is, if you turn the TV off, a friend will call and say something. I mean, that's so important, isn't it?
Like, yes, I mean, we need some stress in our lives. I mean, like some cortisol in our lives, but we don't need an overdrive of the cortisol or a daily high dose of it, like, so we always like try to like we have to learn how to deal with stress, because what does stress do to you? It increases the cortisol like then causes like insulin resistance. It's going to cause a lot of issues with your thyroid. So at the end it like causes so much problems, that high blood pressure, that it affects your, that's why they say like stress is going to kill you, and in reality it's like elevated constant cortisol levels are going to cause problems. So I think that always like patients have to try to find ways to release this stress. Number one is like sleep well, like as much as we can. Yes, it is also difficult. Some people have two jobs, so like they don't sleep as much, but they have to try as much to like do that, like try to walk or try to find activities that they will relax. So like they can do some yoga at home. And nowadays we have a lot of like YouTube that they can do chair yoga, they can do some relaxation techniques, some breathing techniques. If you like to swim, so any kind of like activity that will be fulfilling for you and also like it will help you, that's going to decrease your stress. Or maybe just like draw, paint, do some like knitting, anything that is going to help you to like, and you can release that stress because you're going to feel much, much better.
Where do supplements fit into all this?
That's an excellent question. Supplements, they are like, as the name says, to supplement things, right? But also like areas, for example, that you have a lot of stress. There have been some natural ways of, it's called adaptogens, that they decrease the amount of secretion a little bit of the cortisol. For example, some of them is called Relora. That is going to help us kind of like tone it down a little bit, and it's going to help us kind of like improve that increase of the cortisol, but in a natural way. Like there are other things that L-theanine, for example, it comes from the green tea. So this one helps with the anxiety, feels with this like what do you call it, like difficulty sleeping at night, or this problems that it's going to help you with that. So you can take that at night. The Relora can take it twice a day. Ashwagandha is another that is very, very people are familiar with it, or very common. That also is another adaptogen that kind of helps with calm you down a little bit in a natural way. Then you can take some teas from chamomile that also kind of like helps in the relaxation. Magnesium helps also relaxation. So like there are many ways that we can try to do with supplements, because I really like supplements because it kind of helps you. And a lot of patients, believe it or not, are more open to doing supplements than prescription medications, So and especially for sleeping, I prefer to try first with like sleeping routine, like hygiene. Make sure that you try to sleep almost at the same time every night. Don't be on your phone or with blue light all the time. And then you can do magnesium. You can do a little bit of like if you like teas, the chamomile tea, L-theanine, or even like the melatonin, to help you induce to sleep and retrain your brain to go to sleep. So there are many things that we can do for the supplements. And then also for like some deficiencies, vitamin B12, vitamin D, we can do also all that.
This is from Marcus on YouTube. Thank you so much, Dr. Gamboa. I have watched your last 4 shows. I love the way you explain things. Can you take overdose on vitamins?
That's an excellent question, Marcus, and that's very important also. And the answer is yes. So, like, if you, for example, take too much vitamin D, like it's difficult to have a toxicity, but it can happen, because nowadays I can see that it's over the counter 50,000, 10,000 units of vitamin D. So, yes, you can have toxicity. If you take too much iron, you can cause overload in your liver. If you do too much vitamin B12, also is not good. I mean, sometimes people think that injections, IV infusions, it's great. Vitamin B12, you're going to have like more energy. Honestly, like whenever your body has enough of it, you're just throwing it through the urine. So like you're like wasting your money, And yes, and then you don't have any benefit, and it's not good either to have too much of of any vitamin. Too much of vitamin A can be toxic. Yes, we use it for severe cases of acne, but under medical supervision. But too much of it also can be problematic with your liver. It's not good. So anything that it's a vitamin, too much is a problem, too little is a problem. So always be the Goldilocks, just right.
So Dr. Gamboa, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, she's with us the last Wednesday of the month at 5:25 Eastern Time. Her office is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Dr. Gamboa, could you give us your website and your phone number?
Sure. It's www.elitecare-clinic.com, and the phone number is 469-947-6020.
You know, this is my easiest show to do. First of all, we get so many questions in, but people, you're like a professor. People love the way you explain things. You don't put people to sleep. I notice people stay on a lot longer than other shows. Dr. Gamboa, we can't thank you enough. Again,
thank you, Steve.
Elite Care, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, and thank you again for giving me the opportunity. I really love educating patients and people, because education is power, and you have to have knowledge about your health, and that's the best thing, because if you don't know why you're taking a medication, then you're not going to be compliant, and you don't know why you're taking it. So always be asking questions.
God gave you the power to communicate with people and not make them feel dumb.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks,
thank you,
Dr.
everyone.
Gamboa. We'll see you next month. That's Dr. Gamboa, Elite Care. She's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back again with you tomorrow. You know, we've got so many shows. I don't even know what show we're doing morning, but it's already being promoted already. That'll do it. We'll see you again tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.